And tonight we will go on a journey. It will be guided meditation to find our inner child. Many of us, or many of you, can maybe think of what the lines were when we grew up. Many people had the idea of children should be seen and not heard. You know, when the children misbehave, you tell them, just be quiet. These are things that we do, and you don't ask questions. Just follow, do what everybody else is doing. Right? What happens? What happens when the kids get these messages? Slowly, that inner child starts believing that whatever I'm thinking, whatever my thoughts are, whatever my feelings are, is not really valid. Let me shut it down and just follow. Just follow. Look around what everybody else is doing and do what they do. That's what happens when you don't have that voice, you don't have somebody to discuss it, that adult. And that many of our ideas, of our beliefs, come from when we were young. And those ideas, those lines that we got, just to be, to be seen, not to be heard, to be quiet, and slowly it can shape us. So when we grow up, we're not even aware of that inner child anymore. So let's get started. Tonight, we're going to connect and nurture our inner child. Here we go. Before we start, we need to find somehow, some way to formulate a dialogue with our inner child. And these are some ideas. We mentioned some last week. One of it is to sit down and write a letter. Just write to that inner child. I missed you. I haven't seen you in a while. You say nurturing things to it. Look at photos of yourself as a child and just what comes up. Different memories, different ideas of that real you, that inner you. Maybe before before you were shaped, or while you were shaped. Think and write about what you love doing when you were young. It could sound a little funny for many, because why do this? But it's just fascinating. This is what we're discussing, to really connect to our inner child, to connect to our core, who we are, and not what we look at ourselves today. And for some reason, today we believe this is who I am, and that's it. It's like periods. This is who I am, but that's not true. There's so much more, and we could become younger. Engage in meditation and creative visualization. Tonight, we will be doing meditation guided together. So before we start, number one is to find a place where you feel comfortable, a private place. Now, you are where you are now. I hope it's a comfortable place, but if you do it again, a different time, you can go somewhere, or it can be in your mind, a real quiet place where you can sit there, nobody will disturb you. And even though we have spent most of our lives not being in touch with our inner child, sometimes our first attempt, some people, is very easy. The child just shows up. You're like, wow, I was waiting for you for years, and it's so happy that you're here. But sometimes the child is not ready. It doesn't trust. How many times did it want to say something? How many times did it feel something, but you weren't available for it? So it basically is hiding, and you're telling him now, come out and let's talk. Really? Are you really ready? It might be holding back. So tonight, whatever happens, let's just follow. Let it happen. Accept what comes to you, because those parts, whatever parts come up, they're ready to be discovered at this time. If you do it a few times, every time you might see different things. You might discover different aspects of the child. Just don't try too hard to find something. Just let it be. Whatever comes up, comes up. It may be you might get in touch with a little child that's emotional, sad, maybe hurt. That might happen. Or maybe you'll find a child who is playful and is ready to have fun. It might be hard for you. It's been a while that you've been running around playing tag or having a good time. But if that's what your inner child wants, you're going to have to listen, whatever comes up, and slowly we'll have to learn how to relate to it. So let's get started. Here we go. So get comfortable. It could be sitting or lying down. If you're sitting up, be sure your back is supported so you can sit straight. If you're lying down, lie down comfortably, flat on your back. Now close your eyes and take a deep breath. And as you exhale, relax your body. Take another deep breath. And as you exhale, relax your body deeper and deeper. Good. Now take another deep breath. And as you exhale, imagine relaxing your body as completely as you can. Your whole body is now completely relaxed. Take another deep breath. And as you exhale, relax your mind. Let your thoughts float away. Let your mind come into stillness and quiet. Take another deep breath. And as you exhale, imagine moving your awareness into a deep, quiet place inside of you. Then imagine that you're walking down a beautiful path to that quiet, safe place. And as you walk down the path, you feel more and more relaxed, centered, and comfortable. You enter that safe place and sense a feel of beauty, comfort, of nature all around. Take a few moments to get in touch with that safe place, to remember some of the details about this place. Let yourself enjoy it. Imagine that you're walking around, noticing various plants and animals, feeling the sun or the breeze. And a little way off in the distance, across the field, you become aware of the presence of a small child. As you start to move towards the child, you see or sense whether it's a boy or a girl, how old it is, and what the child is doing. Slowly move toward the child. And as you get closer, notice how the child is dressed. Allow yourself to sense how the child is feeling emotionally. Approach the child and make contact in whatever way you sense would be appropriate right now. Ask the child, is there anything it wants to tell you or wants to communicate to you? It may be in words, or it may be in some other way. Allow yourself to receive whatever the child wants to communicate. Just listen and let the child say whatever it wants to say. Now ask the child what it needs most from you right now in your life or in general. Listen to what the child has to tell you, whether in words or in other ways. Spend a little time being with your child. Allow the child to guide you in the appropriate way to be with it, whether playing together or simply sitting close or holding each other. The child has a special gift to give you. Allow yourself now to receive the gift of the child, the gift the child has for you. Continue to be with your child. Let the child know that you want to be in contact with it as much as you can from now on. Complete your time together for right now in whatever way feels good for both of you. You and the child have a choice to make. The child can choose to remain there in the safe place, and you'll be able to come visit the child whenever you can. Or the child can come with you. Now, your child will know which way feels best for right now, and it can always change in the future. If the child is going to stay in that safe place, say goodbye now. Let the child know you'll be back, you'll come back as often as you can, and that you want to know how the child feels and what it needs from you in your life. If the child is coming with you, take it in your arms or by the hands and start to walk up the path. And as you walk up the path, feel yourself alive, filled with energy, balanced, and centered. Become aware of your body in the room, and when you feel ready, open your eyes and come back into the room. So that is a short guided meditation. And I wonder where it took you. And you can share in the chats if anything came up, or you can always let me know, send me an email. But what's important for now that we did meet the child, whether it was comfortable or not, or maybe I didn't talk too much, we do have to remember that we are the adult. We are the parents of that inner child. And we need to nurture. Start to think about things that are fun, nurturing for that child. And include them in your life on a regular day or daily or whenever it works for you, every couple of days. Like I mentioned, journaling would be good. You can spend some time with it and write. It might be easier for some people. Some people, meditation doesn't always work, visualization. But basically what it means that we need to start making some space in our life for that child. It's just like we have, our own kids. Just by being around doesn't always mean that they feel that there's somebody there for them. We need to tell them, let's spend some time together. Tuesday at 7 o'clock for a half hour is your time. So they know, oh, wow, my father, my mother is going to spend time with me. The same thing was with the inner child that has to know that, yes, you're not always available, you're busy, but let it know when you'll be back and when you could include it in your day. Another important thing is that not always Is it appropriate to bring along your child, your inner child, wherever it is? Sometimes you're going to a meeting, a work-related meeting. You can let your child stay home and play. Don't bring it all over. You tell your child you have to go now. You'll be back, and that's okay. So we have to be smart about it. You're not going to walk around, including your inner child wherever you go. But we need to connect, start becoming aware, and whether it's journaling, meditation, it could be the guided meditation. You can listen to this and see what comes up. So that's basically what we're doing tonight. If you want, you can feel free to raise your hand, ask any questions. You can ask a question live. And I would love to see if you can send me in the chat anything, any ideas, any thoughts, any feelings that came up. And if you feel more comfortable, you can always send it to coachmenachem@gmail.com. Let's see what we have. Beautiful. So somebody shared that they found their inner child swinging on a swing, which is beautiful. Being there with that child, isn't that amazing? Start finding that child inside of you that wants to have that fun. And for others, thinking about your inner child, yes, might bring up anxiety. And again, it depends the level of anxiety. And what I do mention many times, when people have gone through real trauma, real hard, very, very challenging upbringing, then doing these things can be hard, especially to do it by yourself. Because that's exactly the reason why we don't want to go there. We want to keep busy, make sure you have a routine, and keep on going, even though it might be a rat race, it might not be happy, but I can't go back to become calm, connect to myself, because there's a lot of negativity. So what I mentioned many times is if there is real trauma, then it would be beneficial to find somebody who can guide you. Usually it's a therapist. They can slowly take you there. They will hold your hands in whatever modalities they'll use for trauma, so that you can slowly connect to our inner child. But again, if there isn't anything major, it's just the way we grew up, and there was lack of emotional connection or whatever it is. So we are retraining, relearning to see what we're missing, and slowly we can go back to our inner child, and we as an adult can slowly nurture. That's basically what we're looking for. Why does the inner child surface, especially during the conversation with our parents, even for those who are older? I believe it's pretty simple. Every time you talk to your parent, what does it make you feel? It brings back memories. Sometimes it can make you feel that you're the child again. So whatever feeling it is, some people don't have that feeling, some people do, but it's a great awareness to see how you feel when you talk to your parents. My inner child was terrified and scared. That's a great awareness that you had. And if you can come back to it slowly, and slowly tell it, I am here for you. And it might not open right away. You ask it what it wants. What would it like to see that you do for it? Something that you can maybe buy it a gift, take it out, go buy it some ice cream, take care of it, slowly. Again, it takes time to connect. And especially if it's terrified and scared, because that is what's not letting us relax, become in a relaxed state, because we meet that inner child. We're over here, we're trying to make it more tangible, trying to put it on the table, but this is our subconscious. This is what's really going on inside of us. That inner child that's terrified and scared. And then we're trying to wonder, why am I not happy? My life, I have such a beautiful life. Everything is so good. Why am I I have so much stress? I can't relax. Because when you do relax, you know what you find? Something terrified and scared. Somebody else shared. Now, thank you all for sharing. This is great. You found your inner child swimming in a lake. Beautiful. With a large tube, having a great time. Exactly. Be there with it. Bring it out. Let's see. And for those who are going to therapy, continue. Yes, it might sound like it takes a lot of time and you don't have patience, but give it the time that it needs. Give it the time. If you do therapy with this, it might help it a little bit. If something comes up, share it with your therapist, and let's hear his or her feedback. For those who had the most amazing childhood and nothing comes up, which is really amazing. So why take that away? Beautiful. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Well, that's really, really amazing. But I do want to talk about for a moment, just for a minute, about something that's surfing up in today's days. That's the emotional neglect. Childhood emotional neglect, which some people could tell me, I've met many that tell me, nothing comes up, I am fine, everything was fine. They don't really have that aliveness today. But if you talk to them about their upbringing, they'll say everything was perfect. But we discussed it over here also. How could everything be perfect? I feel bad a little bit to talk about this because for those who believe they had a perfect upbringing, I don't want to take it away. But being alive is almost not possible to have positives and negatives. Let's have that very clear. There are positives and negatives. Things work out, things don't. It's just not possible to have everything work out the way we want. So a healthy child is when they have the adult with it, and when things don't work out, they can cry to the adult could help make sense out of it. And they don't feel lost. And then they have amazing times and they're resilient and they go back and forth, which is beautiful. However, many times we don't have that adult, whatever it is, whatever the trauma is, or if it's a lack of emotional connection, you don't have that adult. And as a young child, when things come up, the negatives come up, we don't know how to deal with it. So the easiest thing to do is say, you know what? This is too painful. I'm not going to let this hurt me. I am strong. I'm going to continue. And basically what we do is we shut down those emotions. And like we discussed many times, once emotions are shut down, that's the part of the brain that the amygdala, that positive and emotions are in the same place. And once you shut them down because of the negative feelings, we don't really allow ourselves to feel the positive feelings, so we're shut down. And then we get older, we try to figure out, I really had a very good upbringing. Nothing bothered me. Really now? How's it possible nothing bothered you when you were really young? Just look at little kids. They cry and laugh and cry and laugh and cry and laugh. Today, we want kids to be, put them in their seats, just listen, follow, send them to school, just study. There's no ups and downs. We don't have time for this. The adults are not around. So this is where we have to become aware. And that's why we're connecting again to that inner child to see what is it that it wants. It wants to play, it wants to have a good time. Yes, certain things, it hurts. Listen to it. Be there for the child. Don't run away. Don't dismiss it. It had enough of that. Now that you're reconnecting to the child, be there. And sometimes you can say, I hear you. It is painful. And just breathe. but I'm here. Imagine a child when it's going through a painful situation that could sit on an adult's lap and say, I hear it's painful, and you hold their hands. They feel relaxed and safe, and that's what we're looking for. Beautiful. For those, give him hugs and kisses, whatever it needs. Thank you very much for your feedback. This is really amazing to get all of this feedback. And this has to be done more often. This is the first time for many, and do it more often. Again, you told that inner child, you'll be back. So connect to it, write down what comes up. You can share it with me, send me an email, and we will continue next week in Mitzvah Hashem. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight. Thank you. Your inner child wants to thank you for taking some time to connect to it. Have a good night and a good week.